A wonderful week to everyone. Welcome. I'm sorry I kept you waiting. First of all, today's shir is being specially dedicated by Barish Gesseman for the first shlema of his mother, Miriam Sarah Basfegi. Any extra words for us today? Anything better today?
She's got a few things going on. She'll be in the hospital a few days.
All right, so she should be taken care of. She's a zakena. She's 97, right? Almost 97. She should see many more years in Yitz Hashem. Miriam Sarah Basfegi. She should have a refuah shalema b'sech shecher Yisrael. We also want to learn for the young granddaughter that's having surgery tomorrow, Yitz Hashem.
Canceled again because she has a cold.
It's not the time yet. It's not the time yet, that's all. It's not the time yet, in the right time. We're dedicated Lila Nishma Shlema ben Moshe Elimelech ben Eliezer L'Refuah Shlema for Yomis ben Chayesara and the Schus of Avram ben Yam Benish ben Malki Yehudis by the Fisher family, Lila Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shlema ben Avram Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain for Meir ben Chayesara by Yoel Klugman and family, and Reb Hirsch. You have Yartzeit? No Yartzeit. And for my mother, Esther Fadel Baschana, she should have much less pain, and refuah shalema b'seich shecher Yisrael. We are in the second parak of Nazir. We have now what has been billed as one of the strangest mishnayos in all of Shas. Many of the Mefarshei Mishnayos say that this Mishnah is extremely unusual. It's a dialogue between an imaginary talking cow and its owner. You hear what I'm talking about? It sounds like Dr. Seuss Lavdil. You know, this is a very, very unusual Mishnah. Mishnah Beis. Amar. So a man is trying to get his cow to get off the ground. So he says, I imagine that Amra Parazu, that this cow, my Elsie, is saying, Hareini Nazira im Omedes ani. I'm going to be a Nazir if I stand up. You know, if it's the last thing I do, I'm not standing up. I'm going to be a Nazir if I stand up. And the Mishnah doesn't say what he says. But the Rishonim fill in and say, I'll be a Nazir if I don't get it up. And then it gets up by itself. Then it gets up by itself. Or Omar Adela says that he's trying to open up a door. It's like sealed shut. So he says, this door is saying, Areitni Nazir im niftach ani. If I open, I'll be a Nazir. And I'm saying, I'll be a Nazir if I don't open it. And then the Rishonim, again, the Mishnah doesn't say what happened. This is really unusual. But the Rishonim say that the cow gets up by itself, or the door opens by itself, or by agency of another person. So he didn't open the door, he didn't pick up the cow. Right? So he should really be a Nazir. Right? So it says, Beishami Aimrim Nazir. Beishami says that he's a Nazir. Beis Hillel Aimrim ain't a Nazir. Beis Hillel says he's not a Nazir. Now, there's several reasons for why Beis Hillel says he's not a Nazir. But one of the reasons Beis Hillel says he's not a Nazir is because Beis Hillel says he just meant that he'll be a Nazir if the cow doesn't get up and if the door doesn't open. It's not if he doesn't open it. And if he doesn't open the door, if he doesn't pick up the cow. And since the cow got up and the door opened, he's not a Nazir. Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says, again, Rabbi Yehuda is consistent with the way he learned in the previous Mishnayos. Rabbi Yehuda says here he doesn't mean that he's a Nazir. He's using the word Nazir as being separate from. And he means it as a vow to be separated from the door, not to benefit from the door, or to be separated from the cow. And therefore, Rabbi Yehuda Aimer Afkish Amru Bei Shammai, that if he doesn't pick up the cow, or he doesn't open the door, there's going to be an Isser, Loi Amru Ela Ba'aimer Hare Parazu Alai Carbon, this cow should be a carbon, see if it stands up by itself and I didn't stand it up. I know it's Hareini Nazir is a Yadla Nadarim, that he means that he should be forbidden from this cow or forbidden from this door if he doesn't pick it up or if he doesn't open it. And therefore, according to Beis Shammai, he'll be asa from the cow and asa from the door. According to Beis Hillel, he's not, for two reasons. First of all, Beis Hillel holds that this is not a lashon neder, and also Beis Hillel says it's inclusive whether he picks it up or whether it gets up by itself, whether he opens the door or if the door opens by itself. Mozgu lo yasakais. If they pour him a cup of wine, v'amar hareini nazir mimenu, I'm a nazir from this cup. We interpret this to mean that he's a Nazir from wine in general, and he's a Nazir for 30 days. How he said Nazir. However, although this next Maisa sounds like a Maisa listar, the next Maisa is interpreted that this is only if the circumstances don't prove that he just meant this cup. But if he was drunk, and therefore he didn't want another cup, it's enough. So then he just meant not to have this cup of wine because he's already shikr, and not that he should become a nazir. And therefore the Gemara says, Ma'isab Isha Achas, there was a woman, Shoisa Shikura, she was already over the top, she was already intoxicated, or Mozgula Asakais, and they poured for her another cup, V'amra Hareini Nazira Mimenu, I should be a nazir from it. Here we interpret it just to mean from this because I had enough, I'm already shikr, over the hill, Amru Chachamim loy niskabna loy mahari hu alai carbon, that this cup should be forbidden to be as a carbon, and not that she should be a nazir in general. Tonight we'll have a daf at 8, and followed by that we will have a chok. Rav Chanani ben Akasha Amaratza Kadosh Baruch Hu L'Zakos Yisrael L'Fika Chir B'Lem Torah Mitzvahs Shenem Adinai Chafetz Saman Tzidka Yad L'Torah V'Yadir.